And what a lot of people seem to not understand well is that when you empathize with somebody, it does not necessarily mean that you agree with everything that they're saying. It doesn't mean you agree with their motives, their decisions, any of those things. Because he's indicted, or he's criticized every president, Donald Trump included. You know what I'm saying? But he still empathized with the pressure that they have to face every day as the president, as a leader, or as the chief representative of the United States of America. So we're looking at the Ye interview hosted by Piers Morgan on his platform.
That's all fine. You can do all
that.
But
it has to start somewhere.
Of course you can do all that. And when you do that,
it has to start somewhere.
I hope you won't be judged as a black business person doing it all the time. That people don't phrase it all the time by the color of your skin, but by your business acumen. Isn't that what you would like? Isn't that what equality actually means?
Of course I'll be judged by that.
And this is really interesting. I want people to pay attention to stuff like this also, but what's just happening right now. A lot of people want to talk about they want to talk Dr. King and Dr. King talking points when they're talking to black people, right? They want to talk about the ones that favor themselves especially, right? And I believe that to be a bit disingenuous because Dr. King also spoke of a lot of things that were happening directly to black people, and when you conceptualize his talking points and when you put things together, right? Like how you will read the Bible, you don't read the Bible you read the entire Bible from beginning to end, but to put a lesson together, you have to pick pieces here and there, and create a lesson based on a collection of scripture, right? And this is kind of how you kind of decode. This is kind of how I put together my understanding of what of Dr. King's message and stuff. But this type of thing is not going to happen with a lot of these types of people, and it's not just white people. Don't get me wrong, but everybody that's wanted to talk about Dr. King's speeches on equality and stuff like that. And I have a dream and things like that. I'm not going to go all into detail about Dr. King, but what I will say is a lot of what he was saying regarding equality and judging of people by the character of their character and not by the color of their skin, that was to advocate for equality amongst blacks especially, right? And I say that because he's also spoken on reparations for blacks, and he's spoken on things and government handouts for migrants and immigrants, right? But nothing has been set aside to repair black people of not just chattel slavery, but also institutional racism or systemic racism.
That because when people come into power, people get judged. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that gets judged more than a straight white male. The straight white male has...
God, why is Kanye talking about a straight white male? What is on his mind? What is he talking about? He needs medication. Let's hear him.
The least amount of a platform to even speak. A straight white male can't say, my wife hurt me today, because people will say, well, you're hurting women. A straight white male can't say, hey, a black employee didn't come in to work on time, because then people will say you're racist. A straight white male can't speak on a homosexual person because they'll say you're homophobic. And so I empathize with the position of the straight white male. And part of the reason why I empathize with that position is because I know that I'm headed to that position. And what position that is? Top power position.
That ye smile. Yeah. So a lot of empathize with white people, right? With white men especially. And this line especially rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because they're like, well, white men, the common understanding that white men are in charge here, and they've done a lot to put themselves into a powerful position, and a lot of racism was involved into that, and a lot of people paid the price of their like I said, their them using their power and their influence and their positions to infringe on the progression of not just Black Americans, but everybody around them, all across the world, and all of those things. That is definitely a just and well-due indictment. However, is that indictment that should befall every white person, is the question, or every white male for that matter. And that's not particularly true. Not to the fullest extent. You know what I mean? We can't treat that one white dude, right, that's asking for money on the corner the same way we treat Adolf, right? We can't put all of the indictment on. We can't put the entire indictment on every white man, and that's kind of that's part of what he's speaking to. Now, for everybody, now to put that indictment on somebody like the President of the United States, right, which is something that he's aspiring to, he needs to show that he has the compassion, or not just compassion, but he has the empathy, right, to be able to understand that with that position is going to come a lot of, indictments thrown your way from the people. Like you're going to be watched, you're going to be criticized, you're going to be spat on, right, figuratively, by the people that you represent as the executive, as the chief. You know what I'm saying? And this is, it's more or less an empathy flex for him. But I do believe it is an important message to deliver as somebody that's trying to run for president, that he can empathize with even the most difficult people to empathize. And what a lot of people seem to not understand well is that when you empathize with somebody, it does not necessarily mean that you agree with everything that they're saying. It doesn't mean you agree with their motives, their decisions, any of those things, because he's indicted, he's criticized every president, Donald Trump included, you know what I'm saying? But he still empathized with the pressure that they have to face every day as the president, as a leader, or as the chief representative of the United States of America. His message in context is not to do with, oh man, I love me some white people. I gotta take every opportunity to defend white people or the white man. This is a flex. This is an empathy flex, right? That's what's actually happening here.
Okay.
That's the top power position where you get all the rocks thrown. And that's the thing. I have friends, right, that will actually that's the reason why I'm going to be a good leader someday, because I'm really empathetic. But I call Black people.
He literally just said it. I should just let the video play.
People out on their stuff. I call white people out on their stuff, because we're all people. We're actually only one species. And in order to, whether it's my friends texting me like, bro, you got to get in the gym. You're looking chubby in the photo. It's like we have to hold each other accountable to what's actually happening. And it's so much is based on you did that tweet wrong. So what I will say is, I feel that my words demand more sensitivity for the frequency that I'm operating at, and and the amount of people that I'm communicating to. And I take that responsibility right now. But I will also say everything happens for a reason, because if it had been perfectly worded in English, and because there's nothing whiter than English itself, right? I'm already not speaking in my mother tongue, right? So if I had perfectly worded it in the most sensitive way, then we wouldn't be here right now.
So when he says things like you need to be sensitive to his frequency, so which he's speaking all these things, he's trying to say, like, depending on the time, right? Depending on what's happening, right? You need to with full sensitivity, right? You need to, as an alertness, right? You need to consider what's happening around him and to him before digesting what he's saying. So that's in layman's terms, that's what that essentially means. He says there is an option, or how I understand it at least, is that there's an option of saying what he's gonna say, or saying what he says in a nicer manner, or in a calm tone, or more kindly. That, well, he wouldn't get the attention he's gotten. You know, he made that DEFCON tweet, and look where that landed him. A lot of media attention. And it's up to the people to watch the interviews and create the narrative for themselves, instead of listening to the idiot box tell them what to think. So as far as I'm concerned, he's kind of right. The negative attention actually did give him some positive intention. You know what I'm saying? How does the phrasing go? No such thing as bad publicity. Well, he certainly capitalized off that bad publicity by way of platforming a message that is entirely pro-black. Yes, it was at the cost of billions of dollars. yes, the heck it was. But maybe he believes that it was worth it. I don't know. I mean, do you believe it was worth it? Probably not. But I, at the very least, appreciate him spreading the gospel that is Dr. Claude Anderson.